Okay, this is the part I wanted to talk about today. I didn't finish looking at my notes, but I wanted to share this part today where, as far as the workplace environment and how we protect one another. And it's not for everybody. It's one of those things where you look out for me, I look out for you. You treat me right, I treat you right. And no, I won't be manipulated into the way you think and listen to what you listen to in order to be accepted by you. I don't need to be accepted by you. Things of that nature. But as far as safety, like right now is really critical. The mental people with severe mentally ill disorders, diagnoses, diseases have been activated. It's pretty rampant, and so they're coming in to the medical facilities, right? And it's like you have to be extra careful. And so this one I wanted to share where, you don't be paranoid, but you always want to be aware of when somebody come up to you, they start questioning you. They ask you strange questions and you're like, why are you asking me this? And, that did happen. And I said, you got to come back, public affairs, I can't help you. But you could tell when people want you to get frustrated with them and argue with them. And so, you know your environment, you know who you're working with. And I happen to be so lucky. I got, those watch me on the camera and be like, yo, I saw that, what was being said, and then, stop the person and screen them and but I did not feed into what they were saying. And then they'll say, well, what's your name? I gave them my name. And then they tell another person, they wouldn't give me their name. But my whole thing is when I'm talking to somebody, I'm not going to get engaged deeply into the conversation if you got to feel something if it don't feel right. And then they, refuse to go on in and, get checked out mentally, physically, or whatever. But my thing is I'm looking at the body for any prints of any weapons, or I'm watching their hand motions, watching, their eyes, their hands, and if you worked in certain areas for a while, you feel things, things, and what to be careful about and take extra precautions about, right? And so now the time is very heightened. People are serious about their belief systems, whether it's their religion, whether it's their sexual preference, whether it's their political views, whether it's their hatred for people that don't look like them, walk like them, talk like them, act like them, think like them, believe like them. So you just gotta be careful, and not me, not you, but I'm just sharing me. I'm not so quick to argue with somebody. My thing is always de-escalate while I'm paying attention and being careful, and know if something break out, what am I going to do? How am I going to move my feet? How am I going to move my body? And I'm always thinking when I come in contact with someone that I feel as though is not safe. So always safety first. And then this with the children, safety first. You might, do something out of the norm as far as the way you drop them off, as far as the way they come home, as far as questioning them, and talk to them about what would they do if, just give, little play scenarios to not be scared, and to what to say when people come up to them, and how to handle various different ways to handle, just to get their mind thinking, into that direction. And that's it for now. I wanted to talk about this as far as the workplace, whether you work in a large workplace environment. I'm sure it mostly happens in large workplace environments, and just be aware. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. It's like workplace manipulation examples, like manipulative tactics. Say, for example, we work in McDonald's, fast food industries, situations like pressuring staff to bend the rules. Your rules, your policies, your procedures, but they pressure you to bend the rules. And when you always get things done without breaking policies and procedures, but they think you're bending your back for them, when you're mainly caring for and you care about what the customers eat and put in their mouths, taking care of the customers, right? But soon as you don't do something and it's totally against the policies and procedures, you now become the enemy. And a lot of times you let them get away with stuff. You don't say anything. You know how sneaky they are. And but then sometime it comes a time you have to write them up, and you have to make it known to the top players within, for example, McDonald's franchise, and let them know what's really going on, because it can get dangerous with these types of people, these types of personalities. So things that they can do is use guilt trips. They could fast talk you, knowing if you're by yourself working and you're really, really busy, and they'll give you something and start fast talking and hope that you will bend the rule and won't pay attention, and get something done for them, which will turn out to be illegal, or they'll come back and bite you in the butt. So, or they'll say things like, it's been done before. Why can't you do this? And but they turn on you when you put your foot down and say, this is one thing I will not and cannot do, right? It's against, ethics, or it's just not legal to do what they're trying to get you to do. And so then, the gossip spreads, or they'll look at you in your eye, and most times they don't even speak to you. But then, when you get in situations like this, they'll look at you and give you a kind of funny kind of grin. And you already know what's going on behind that. And it's best to ignore it and don't say anything when it gets to that level, and just take it to the top, to someone that you can trust. And it needs to be reported so that someone can know. I typed something in on this because I really wanted to talk about it and share a brain dump on it. And expecting someone who is known for to cover, like they need you to cover for them when they've delayed urgent tasks or shifted responsibility. These are the type of people that always complain. As much as they complain, if they were to do the work, the same amount of work, the same amount of complaint, they would get the work done. I didn't explain that right. So as much as I say, man, why I got to tie my shoes today? I just why I got to tie my shoe? Why can't I just get another shoe? I could just slip it in and it'd be easy to do. And I just complain about the shoe and the way I tie it, and it takes too long to tie it, this and that or whatever, right? But if I would just go ahead and tie the doggone shoe, take care of the responsibility, get it done without complaining, it would get done. But no, I'm so used to complaining and not doing it and finding every which way to not do it, and pass the buck on to someone else. I could have had it done without all that time I'm wasting complaining and finding ways to get out of that particular making a burger in Burger King or something like that. So expecting someone who is known for, they always have people to cover up for them because they don't want to make the burger when they know they took too long. And it's like something that's an emergency that could have a task that could have been got done, and they shift the responsibility, and now it's really coming down on them, right? And or they fail to secure the proper support for to make to just get the job done. And so they think they got away with it, but then the chips start falling down on them, like, you should have made that burger. Somebody wouldn't have been hungry if you would have just made the burger. And but no, you had to pass it on to somebody else and pass it on to the whatever. And so now the heat is coming down on you, and you don't have anybody to cover for you, so now it's like panic mode, so I don't know how to turn it into, like, I've been using Burger King or McDonald's or something like this, but it's like more or less how going above and beyond should serve customers or ethical standards, not enable the people that you work with in an unethical practice. Like, I don't know, reinforcing that integrity means doing what's right, even under pressure. Like, sometimes you got to just stop, take a moment, know who's handing you something, to investigate and get done, but the person is crooked that's handing it to you. So you're just going to have to take your time before you put that burger on the fryer, and make sure that everything, the onions, the seasoning and everything is on there, because they know it's a rotten burger they're trying to get you to put on the grill, but they're going to try to get you to do it so that you can cover for the bullshit that they've been lacking and complaining and not getting the job done, but they want you to do the important part so that it can cover their ass, pretty much. I know that was a piss poor example, which was necessary, and I just wanted to get that out. I think you can read between the lines and understand, but just be careful in the workplace environment. Always dot your I's and cross your T's, no matter how busy you are.